Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. This is Lisa Holder, Communications Officer. Today we have a very special guest with us, Darrel Presley. Darrel is the Executive Director of the city's Development Services Department. Welcome, Darrel.
Thank you, Lisa.
So Darrel is going to be sharing with us some great information about a new platform that the City of Sanford has launched in December of 2018 called Citizenserve. Darrel will also explain just what is included in the Development Services Department and what kind of programs and services they provide to the citizens. So, Darrel, let's get started with Citizenserve. But first, actually, I wanted to acknowledge the fact that you have been with the City of Sanford for many years, Darrel. You have been with the city for close to...
Well, it'll be 40 years next October.
40
this coming
years.
October.
So and in various positions. So
Yes.
I just wanted to acknowledge that many years of public service experience. So we appreciate you being here today, Darrel. And let's get into the discussion of Citizenserve. So what is Citizenserve?
Well, Citizenserve is our cloud-based solution for our e-government or electronic government processes that we use within the Development Services Department. And Development Services is the building department, planning, and the code enforcement.
Okay. And that's also, all of those departments are physically on the second floor of City Hall. And there's also a information desk too on the first floor, on the second floor of our lobby, and that's part of your department, Darrel, and we have created that early on so that people can actually have a place to go when they walk into City Hall.
Yes,
Correct.
as when you come into City Hall on the second floor, as you get off the elevator or come through the stairwell, directly in front of you is an information desk, which is right adjacent to our building department desk, and that is to direct people, help people find what they're looking for here in the city of Sanford. So whether it be something within my department or it be some other department, that person is there to help them find what they're looking for.
Right, and we know that not everybody is online. We want people to be served online, but we wanted to add that also. So continuing on with Citizenserve, you said that it involves an e-government process. So can you share a little bit more details about how that works and who benefits from this Citizenserve?
Right. Well, Citizenserve, it allows for code complaints, development project, building plans for building permits, all to be submitted electronically to the city. It allows us to track and review and store these files much easier than it used to be with reams and rolls of rolled up plans, and somebody would have to come in and drop off 6 sets of plans that might weigh 4 or 5 pounds each. I mean, so they're extensive in some cases. And then all those had to be stored somewhere. So we literally have warehouses full of old plans in places that we've been paying storage fees for.
Okay.
So this way it's all electronic, it's all digital, all this information gets stored in the cloud. And our design professionals, architects, designers, builders, developers can submit that all from their office. Their office in today's world, that office may be in Houston, Texas. It may be in Portland, Oregon. We don't know, but they have design professionals doing this work. Mm-hmm. They can submit it, and that eliminates their need to have to come in, pay somebody to come in and deliver those plans and do that. They can all do it electronically. We review it all. Then conversation as a result of those reviews takes place electronically via email.
So that's City of Sanford's in, of course, the age of technology and keeping up with all of these wonderful things so that we can increase our business service to our business community. So that's wonderful. And how can they find, it's on our website, I'm assuming, the link to Citizenserve so that they can access that very easily?
It is. It's actually very easy. It's citizenserve.com/Sanford. It is a citizen portal. A person can register on that portal and then submit their requests for the various plans that are listed there and applications they can do. Also, with our code enforcement area, they can submit complaints about code enforcement issues that they may have, and then those are assigned to the code enforcement officers, and they go out and do their inspections and investigation to determine if there's a violation and how to take care of it.
Okay, so that's a part of Citizenserve as well, or
Yes,
also? Okay.
it's part of Citizenserve.
All right, so like we said, these services are available 24/7, 365, and it improves accuracy of records and, of course, eliminates all of the space with paper records and everything like that. And so the benefits of electronic plan review, like you said, Darrell, also include quicker turnaround times. We're talking about timeliness, efficiency.
Right. Exactly, because one of the things it allows us to do, where possible, we don't have to rely on sequential reviews of processes and sets of plans. Those can be done simultaneously in some cases. So, and not having to physically take sets of plans from one division of the city to another also saves time and staff effort. So all of these things create those efficiencies that we want. Also, the back and forth between our client, our customer, and the city when there's comments or questions about plans, all also being done electronically via email, and those answers and responses and perhaps changes to plans are then uploaded electronically. So it really saves not only the city time and effort, it saves our customer a lot of time and effort and money. And
so the customers can actually check the status of their submissions too, and therefore not calling in, having to ask people questions such as that. They become their own probably leader of their project too, or they feel like they're part of their project, right? Because they're seeing it going through the process at the city, I'm assuming online.
Right. And actually, a developer, for instance, they always want to know where they are in the process and where, what's going on, what's the most recent review, because there's multiple reviews that have to occur. So instead of having to call, perhaps not get somebody on the phone, leave a message, wait for a call back, they're a registered user, they go in, they can actually see who's reviewed it, who hasn't reviewed it. Has it been reviewed by the commercial plan reviewer? Has it been reviewed by the planning department for zoning? Has it been reviewed by utilities for the utility issues that there may be on that? So they can see who's done, where it's not been done, and if there's comments in there from the various reviewers, they can also see those at that point in time. Now, eventually, they all will get those copies electronically delivered to them, but if they want to know ahead of time, they can actually see them.
All right, so they could follow
as
the
they're
project
done.
going through City Hall. And there's several departments. It's kind of has a lot of different moving parts, these submittals, I believe. With the planning department, you have the utility department, you have the building department, and we're all located at different areas of the city. So, I mean, this is like the best thing since sliced bread, I guess, for the city of Sanford, or for governments to try and get through, plans through their processes.
Right. And most cities and counties are now in this at some phase of the process of going electronic in these fields, because it's really where we have to get to, and we're fortunate that we are where we are now. We mentioned code enforcement a few minutes ago, and same thing with code enforcement. If somebody wants to become a registered user, and they can then put in a code enforcement complaint, and then they can track it. They can see when that code enforcement officer inspected the property. They can see the photos that were entered by the officer. They can see if the officer issued a notice of violation or not. They can so they know what's going on. Saves them a phone call. Now, they're certainly welcome to call us if they like, but it can save them a lot of time, because people's time today, everybody's on a fast-paced schedule, so it's much easier. Everybody's very comfortable with looking at things online.
Right, and our website is available on the mobile. It has a mobile-friendly app.
Correct.
So there's a way, if you're in a car, you see something, you drive by, there's grass that's 10 feet high or something, like you can easily do that from your mobile phone. You don't have to be on the desktop,
Correct.
too. And so when you talk about code enforcement, though, and calling, there is a way that people can, if they want to call. What number would that be, Darrell?
Sure. If they want to make a code enforcement complaint by phone, they can call our code enforcement office at 407-688-5163.
All right, and then that process is just very similar, and would they be able to follow up if they call it in, would it be entered into Citizenserve?
Yes.
Or so that you can then follow up and track it that way.
Yes.
Okay.
All code enforcement cases are entered and tracked in Citizenserve. So even if they called in and made a complaint and then they want to look it up, they can do that as well.
Okay. And so in regards to code enforcement, that is part of your responsibility. How many staff members do we have? How many officers do we have out there, Darrel?
There are 4 code enforcement officers assigned to the city.
Okay. And you may see them from time or two driving around in a vehicle and just wave and say hello. They're friendly.
Oh, absolutely. They're very friendly, and we're really out there to educate our citizens on what the code is, and that's always the first effort. And what they strive for in code enforcement is voluntary compliance. Code enforcement is not about issuing fines. It's about making the city look better.
Right.
And that's really, truly what we're after.
I 100% agree. And next up, is there anything else you want to say about Citizenserve before we move on to the building permit services? I think we covered it all. I do see here that another benefit of electronic plan review is it increases collection of revenues that are owed to the city, which is a good thing.
It is. It is, and it's part of the tracking. We're able to better track what we have and what's going on, and what's paid, what's not paid. So those are the advantages that we can make sure that we collect the appropriate revenues that are owed, and the time savings and the ease. Frankly,
right.
It's much easier to do this electronically than it used to be with the paper applications.
Right, and so we have more room, I guess, in the building department, right?
We're acquiring more room because right,
with all these plans being now electronically submitted. So.
Correct.
And so another area of responsibility in development services is the building permit services.
Yes.
Darrel, can you share a little bit about that and the Citizenserve Portal?
Sure. Our building permits, as well as planning and development permits, site development, things like that, we require all permitting to be done through the portal at this point. So it all has to be submitted electronically, and it's a simple process. The initial, obviously, with any web-based thing is you register. You have an email and you create your password, and then now you have an account. So then you go back to that account, whether it be just you only have one project or you may have 20 projects coming up. And then you submit we have various drop-down boxes for the various kinds of applications, like building, if it's a residential building permit for new construction, or it may simply be a re-roof to put a new roof on your house.
Okay.
It may be you want to put a swimming pool in. It may be you want to do a fence. It may be you want to just change out the windows or a window in your home.
Okay.
If your home is in the historic district, you may need a certificate of appropriateness. That can be all done through the same portal.
That seems like it's an incredible option for our residents.
Well,
it just seems too easy or too good to be true, but that's great. We're glad that we have it. Citizenserve on the city website.
It follows our goal to be more business friendly, oriented on how to get these processes done. Government, unfortunately, was noted for its slow processes and the time it takes to get things done. So we're making every stride we can in effort to speed up those processes, to make them more transparent, to make them clean. So having, some people call it one-stop shopping kind of thing. I don't know that you can ever truly be one stop, but we're getting as close as we conceivably can get to that goal, and to make it as simple, straightforward, and easy, whether you be a professional developer, architect, or you're the homeowner that's just got a project you're doing at your home over the weekend.
Okay, so you can go in there and register in that particular homeowner, contractor, and it'll lead you right through the steps. Yes. And so, Darrel, I may ask, if I may ask, what took us time to decide or understand that there is better ways out there? I mean, we are in 2019 now. I'm assuming these types of platforms were new too, to create them, because people are understanding and businesses are understanding that, and technology, that there can be easier ways and processes to do things. And especially, like you said, in government, there's got to be a way to streamline a process. And we're thankful for Citizenserve and that we can offer that to our citizens. I don't know if other municipalities are using the same type of service, but that puts Sanford, I would say, ahead of the game. We are now in line with using technology for our citizens, for our betterment. Would you want to comment on that at all in terms of, I'm sure it took a lot of time to finally research it and decide that it is good for us. You were in that from beginning to end.
Correct.
Right?
This has been a process. It's been a long time coming. We had our initial discussions probably 4 to 5 years ago, on knowing that this is the direction we needed to go. And the question becomes, how do you get there? And how do you get there in a cost-effective manner? We looked at a lot of different softwares that were on the market. We even considered developing our own software. At the end of the day, we even tried a couple. At the end of the day, we settled on the Citizenserve software as meeting our needs at a economic point that we could afford to do, provided the access that we wanted, and then started that process and initiated. That process just with Citizenserve took us about 18 months to do an implementation. Right. So it is a very involved process, but you want to have a good result when you get done with it. So various cities, there are some other cities in Florida and across the nation that do use Citizenserve. Okay. But there's many other softwares out there. Yeah.
And so since December, we're now in August, have you noticed increased usage? Are people, are businesses using Citizenserve? And that's one of the reasons of this podcast, is to promote these types of products and services that the city of Sanford is offering. So are we?
Well, they have. We've for lack of a better, we've forced everybody to Citizenserve certainly in the development community, because we only take electronic plans at this point. Okay. And that's by necessity. They have to be electronic, and that's in line with what everybody else is doing as well. Okay. But we've also provide, if somebody is new to this, they don't necessarily understand how to do it. Right. We have 2 kiosks at our building department desk that somebody can come in, and we will set them down and walk them through the process and show them how it's done. Okay. Now, our professional development community doesn't need to do that. They have their professionals that do this stuff for many other entities, so they do it just in stride. Okay. But some of our homeowners, it's a little more complicated for them, or at least they don't have the experience at doing it, and so they want somebody to walk them through it the first time. And we've done that many times already, and they find it very simple. And once they've done it once and they have another project, they're ready to go. Exactly.
And so when you mean the development community, because there may be some listeners out there that are not tapped into the development community, we're talking about contractors,
professional contractors, architects, other design professionals, businesses. That's their business to do that kind of work day in and day out.
For building commercial sites?
Designing plans, commercial, residential. That's what they do. When you hire somebody to do that work for you, it's a different scenario.
And I know we're a growing city. You've heard all about the increased rooftops, commercial businesses that are increasing in our city limits. So this is probably good timing to have Citizenserve, I would imagine, right?
I think it is. I think it's very timely. I think we came in with the right program at the right time. It's really helped our ability to manage all of the activity that we have.
Great. And so we're talking also about, I know you wanted to mention something about business tax receipts.
Our business tax receipts are online also through Citizenserve, so that's all our businesses that are required to pay for the business tax receipt. Any business that's essentially any business doing business in Sanford under the state statute is required to do the business tax receipt. They can do that all through Citizenserve. They can log in, register. They can do it from their home office if it's a home-based business. They can do it from their storefront if it's a storefront business. Okay. So they don't have to come in. They don't have to mail in anything. They can pay for it all on the website.
This is wonderful. The Citizenserve Portal and that's on the City of Sanford website, sanfordfl.gov. Easy to find. We want to make everybody user-friendly. Code enforcement, building tax, business tax receipts, everything. Development plan review, Citizenserve, one-stop shop, as you said, Darrell. That's great. And so just to reiterate, Darrel Presley is the Executive Director of the Planning and Development Services Department and includes several different areas. They review development plans, land development regulations, Planning and Zoning Commission, Historic Preservation, Public Art Commission, the Development Review Team, site development permits, and right-of-way use permits all flow through the Planning and Development Services Department under the lead of Darrel Presley. And we'd love to have you back on the Sanford Says podcast, Darrell, to talk about those 7 or 8 items that we just shared, because I'm sure we can go into depth with a lot of them. But is there anything else that you'd like to say to our listeners about Citizenserve?
Just remind everybody, the Citizenserve portal is at citizenserve.com/Sanford. Very easy to get to. Take a look at it. Any questions that somebody may have, please give us a call and we can help guide you through.
And the general number, Darrell, to your main number to your offices in case folks would like to reach you?
407-688-5163 will get you to my office.
All right. And your email, Darrell?
Darrel.Presley@sanfordfl.gov.
All right. Well, Darrell, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being here. We're educating our residents, our visitors, the public about the services and the programs the City of Sanford offers. So thank you so much. Please, you can find this podcast on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, as well as our social media. Subscribe today on iTunes as well. And we'd love to see you, listen to you here on our show next time. See you then. Bye.